Do we do the mega handshake like that as a clap?
So we might use
There we go. There we go.
We're here.
Welcome to another brand new episode. Oh, I'm going to get comfy. Welcome to another brand new episode of Undisputed Anime. It's your boys. We're back.
Hey, it's me, and I'm here. We're in the same space.
This is like an annual event. I think like last time, it was probably a year ago since we did one in person.
Goodness, this is so ASMR.
How have you been?
I've been on holiday, mate.
How was that?
It was great. There wasn't a lot of time for anime.
No.
Or I would even dare to say there wasn't really a lot of time for manga either.
Did you get to read some or?
No, I actually read an actual book.
Oh, wow.
Actual book, which
Oh,
was
wow.
all words.
Yeah.
Yeah, very good. Highly recommend if you get some time. If you get some time to read an actual book with no pictures, really makes your mind do the work for you.
Nice. I like that. Yeah, actually, I'm trying to think the last time I actually read.
I always make the time to properly read an actual book when I'm on holiday because it's the only time where I've got an abundance of free time, which can't be filled with playing video games or watching anime or something.
Yeah.
Can't really do those things by the pool. So
Yeah. See, I normally catch up with comic books.
yes, you do.
Yeah.
We do get a regular picture of you sitting at some sort of like poolside bar with like an omnibus of something.
Daredevil. Like, yeah. Nothing says like summer holiday than Daredevil.
You do love your comics.
Now and again. It's a rabbit hole we don't need to cover today.
That's not what this show is about.
Not this show. Yeah, man, it's been a while. I finished Overlord.
The anime or the manga?
The anime.
And how did you find it?
I can't believe how smitten I am with it. Like, I really, really enjoyed it. And I'm not quite sure why, because it's a very odd narrative. Like, it's very, very odd. Like, it doesn't follow who I thought would follow completely. It follows other characters, if you know what I mean. And then the crescendo is like, how is the Overlord going to? But the dub is incredible.
I do have to say, like, it kind of checks that you would like Overlord in the way that you've liked Overlord, because based on the sort of isekai stuff that I know is your guilty pleasure, Overlord really ticks all those boxes, I think.
Yeah, it's not a huge harem, though. It's not, oddly.
Okay.
I mean,
I will take your word for it.
It's there, but it's not like, I don't know, it's not like Eminence in Shadow, which is kind of like
All fan service.
all fan service and fantasy.
Yeah, no. I can see that. I'll take your word for it. I think that my problem is that every time I've started Overlord, it's always like there's always this big focus on this one character.
Yeah.
Like this one female character and stuff like that. I'm like, this is going to be like 20 of those by the end of it.
Yeah, I can see where you get that impression and stuff, but it's odd because I kind of was half expecting that, and it doesn't.
Okay.
So yeah, it's cool. I had a real fun time with it. If anything, I'm kind of in that weird period where I'm like, man, I wish there was more that I could watch. What do I watch now? Like,
what I would say, so I've tried to read Overlord on several occasions. Would you say that the anime is an easier entry point? Because I find that reading it, I get maybe 10, 20 chapters in, and I'm kind of like, I'm not sold by it.
Yeah.
Do you think that the anime does a better job of getting you into it?
I think so because it has like a series formula. So I think that's why it may be easier to consume as an anime. And again, I really fell in love with the dub more so because of the main characters. He has two voices. He has his like player voice inside of his head when he's like thinking of stuff. and then he has his character voice, which is like very deep, and he's he's like, my name is Einzugo, like sort of thing. But in his player mind, he's kind of like, I wonder what Alberto is up today. Like, it's really, really fun in that sense.
I do like that, because I think that a lot of isekai sort of things where you end up in a different body separate to your actual body, it very quickly just like blurs the line between who you are and who you are now. Whereas like obviously like I was reincarnated as a slime and stuff like that, and immediately as soon as becoming a slime, that's the voice going through. It's like there's no distinction. It's like, but it seems like this is very clearly this character is playing an avatar of his character.
And I think that's part of the charm as well, because I think there's like this I could be reaching, but I think there's this like whole underlying story about how the choices he's making, being this avatar character, is actually impacting him as a person, because he's not really connecting. Like, for example, they wipe out a small lizard village to increase his fame and his, popularity and stuff. But that's the fame of his Sorcerer King, avatar, not him, the player, thinking about these people and stuff. So yeah, I think, but there's also lines that are blurred.
So he's like kind of like he's losing a little bit of his humanity.
Yes.
Okay. Cool. Okay, maybe I'll give the anime a try. So maybe that's the step for me. Maybe after reading the anime, I'll feel more motivated to continue with the manga.
Yeah.
So
yeah, definitely. I am curious to check out the manga, but again, I had such a good time with the anime. I'm kind of like, I might just wait because there's a movie coming out. I don't know if it's season 5, but yeah, I'm kind of like, I'll just wait.
Well, that's how I felt about Free Rent, to be fair. Like, I know like the manga is way ahead, and I enjoyed the anime so much that I kind of don't want to ruin the anime for myself by reading ahead the manga. I'd rather just experience it all.
Yeah.
And then go and read it.
Yeah. Ah, good times.
Good times indeed.
Have you been reading anything else? So I guess we could talk about the hot gossip that's been going around at the moment about the leaks.
Hot and gossip leaks. Yeah.
The Dadan leaks.
Dadan. Sad. Exciting for some.
Yeah.
But I would have liked to have seen it get its launch in the sun and not in the night.
Yeah.
Especially as we now know that there is going to be some cinema events.
Yeah. All the anime in the UK, they did a blog post about a cinema screening, which is really exciting for us in the UK. So yeah, I am very much looking forward to that. Similar to you, I'd rather be part of the big launch and stuff and less of just like watching leaks and things. Also, I kind of want it to have that big launch, like especially we're in this era where My Hero Academia is ending soon, JJK's ending, like, and everyone's looking at these new series to kind of launch. But for them to launch, they need to have like a killer launch.
You don't want it to be marred by the fact that like, some people might not go and see it because they might read the wrong review online from someone who watched the first few as a leak or something like that. It's like, this isn't any good, so why would I go? And stuff like that. Whereas Dadan is like one of my favorite like weekly shonen titles at the moment. Can't wait to see it like animated all the way through. It's gonna be incredible, I bet. So
I can't wait. And I feel like where was it? I was just thinking as well, like I want it to be successful. Like I really want it to be successful and just kind of knock it out of the park. Because like you said, it's one of my favorite series at the moment. And I think like having a solid anime as well behind it would be really cool.
No, absolutely. It's a big hope of mine that it really knocks it out of the park. And I mean, everything we've seen so far looks like it will. The premise of Dadan is silly enough that I think that there's a lot they can get away with.
Yeah.
Because it's a silly story at the end of the day, but like at the heart of it is, it's definitely, it came out of nowhere for me. And for a long time, I was like, this has no business being as good as it is.
And the art being as good as it is as well.
Yeah.
Like, it is just phenomenal.
Absolutely incredible. And the manga's like reaching like these really great crescendo points at the end of, and each arc isn't like super long as well. It doesn't like, it's like kind of not in the same way as like Demon Slayer, because Demon Slayer obviously we regularly talk about on the show as being a show and a series that knew how to not milk it.
Yeah.
Like it knew how to live out its time in the sun and then just walk away like into the night. And I think Dan is got the premise to be very much like that.
I think for casual anime watchers, I think it'll be a smash hit. I just more so hope that the core sort of watchers, if they have watched the leaked version, I hope they show up for when it does come to Netflix and stuff to kind of again let the bigwigs know that.
It's, I guess in a lot of ways, people seeing leaks might actually psych them up more. But you know, there's always that danger of like the leaks. It's like when it happens a lot in video games, like you see, or in big movies like blockbusters, where you'll see a leak come out, and people are like, "Okay, this happens to this character, or this feature has been introduced and this feature's been removed." Game's trash now. Movies trash now.
I've seen X suit in this way, like the Superman suit. Like people saw the leaks and they were just kind of like, I don't know if I'm into this now. Like. So, yeah, I completely get where you're coming from. But at the same time, like you said, there can be an element of excitement off the back of it.
Exactly.
Any other sort of thoughts or theories?
Thoughts or theories about Dan?
Yeah.
I think it's going to be a smash hit, guys. It's going to be great. I'm going to speak to you. It's going to be great. It's going to be good. I've got such an optimism about it in the same way that I personally, maybe not everyone has now. It's had its first season. I was very optimistic about Kaiju number 8. I was very happy with Kaiju number 8. I know a lot of people aren't happy with it.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna say anything rude to those people because you're entitled to your own opinion, and I'm not gonna gatekeep.
Yeah, I really liked the anime. I just feel like the character designs may have missed a little bit.
So here we go. So the thing is that what I'm seeing online and a lot of the discourses are like, this character looks like this in the manga.
Yep.
But they look like this in the anime.
Yep.
But they're using an example of the character from seasons ahead.
In the manga.
Yeah. Like they're literally like I can't remember what his name is. Yeah, probably Gen. They keep using this like one of Gen where he's got like kind of the kaiju cross eyes and stuff like that, like cross pupils. And it's like, that doesn't happen for ages. Like this is like the very beginning of the story, and you're using it as a premise to be like, this character design's trash. He doesn't even have that at that point in the story.
Yeah, it was more the hair for me because it just looked very. It felt like there was no movement to it. It was very kind of just like.
Have you read the manga? The character design is very simple.
It's simple, but there's still like movement to his hair and stuff. Like even with the side profile, it didn't look any different from. In a weird way, it kind of reminded me of Lisa Simpson. Like it was just that kind of jagged way all the way around.
I think that this whole thing about the art is overblown. It's getting a lot more attention than it deserves to get, and I actually think that the reason why the art style is getting hate on as much as it is because of the character designer for the anime.
Yeah.
I think that that's the reason that people are hating on it, because they're like, "Oh, you already ruined Boruto."
Yeah. Yeah.
So now you're coming in here to ruin something else I was excited about. I don't think people are actually mad about the character design. I think they're mad about the person who's designed
the work.
Who did the work? Yeah.
Yeah, potentially. And look, I'm fingers crossed. Like season 2, the character design changes that ever so slightly. You know, they did it with JJK. They had a completely different character designer for JJK season 2. They did. Hence why we got that weird Gojo walk in Ghetto, like.
Whoa.
Yeah. Drinking the drink and stuff. Yeah.
Drinking the juice.
That sounded wrong.
Yeah. We'll cut that out.
Cut that out.
There'll be a voiceover in that part, or it'll be all bleeped out. Like
all of this.
Be a disclaimer on the screen up here. I always do. I'm always doing like he's going to put this in here. He's going to edit in words here.
All over.
He does all the work, and I'm just like, yeah, he's absolutely got time to do all this other stuff.
Stop adding to my schedule.
Will I add to your schedule more than you already add to your own schedule?
Do you like my lineup of manga I need to read?
It's a lot. Yeah. Can you commit?
No. No, it's the honest answer.
Is your habit of video game buying transferred over to manga now? Where you're just buying piles and piles of media that you're not actually consuming?
Maybe. Because some of it, I mean, Dragon Ball Super Volume 1, I'm not going to read because I watched the anime. So that's the,
Is a lot of it owning to own it? Is it like to have it as a collection for the future?
Yes and no. Kind of like when I get round to reading it, I do really enjoy it. Like, I'm trying to think of one I did read, and I was like, "Wow, this is amazing! I'm reading." Ranger Reject. It was really fun to do, and Delicious and Dungeon for Manga Attack.
Absolutely fantastic.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
So, yeah.
I know that like I mean people have got different motivations for buying manga and anime for that right point. I know that our friend Matt, like host of the Manga Attack podcast, he's got a very good mindset of like, is the manga good enough that I want to have 30 volumes of it?
Yeah.
And I think that for a lot of stuff he's read, he's like, I think because he's got some differing opinions of like some of the places where JJK have been. And I think that there's been a few occasions where he's like, I'm buying the volumes to have them instead of reading it online. But am I enjoying this enough that I continue buying it? Or should I just start reading it online now and cut my losses?
Yeah. Sometimes and I've seen some manga collectors mention this as well. Like sometimes they fall out of love with a particular series. I'm kind of maybe at that point with Shangri-La Frontier. Like I really enjoyed the anime. I'm looking forward to season 2. Will I carry on collecting the manga? I'm probably at that crossroads where I'm thinking more no. And I'll probably donate volume 1, I don't know, to a library or a charity or regift it. Sort of thing.
I think when I kind of wish that I had a different mentality when it came to collecting manga when I was in a position to do so, because when I was a lot younger, the moment that I had money that was my own money to spend, and I was into anime manga at the time, it was like I was straight to our local comic book shop and I would buy any manga that they had. And as a result, if you look at my collection now, I have volume 1 and 2 of a series that I've never cared about, but at the time I was just trying to consume as much of the medium as I could. I think I've got like 4 volumes of Peter 10.
Peter 10?
Yeah, it's basically like a shoujo magic girl thing about like angels and devils. And it's got a very, very like kind of cutesy art style. And I'm like looking at it, I'm like, why did I buy this? It's like I went through this period where I was buying manga for the sake of having it. And as a result, I've got like very sporadic collections. Like I've got like a good chunk of Naruto, like early Naruto. I have volume 1 of Bleach.
Yeah.
And it's only been in the last year that I've gotten any more Bleach. And that's because mine and Kira's friend works at a library. And they were looking to get rid of like 16 to 20 volumes of Bleach. So we've got volume 1 and then we've got like volume 23 onwards.
Amazing.
Like I've got like 3/4 of Tsubasa.
Yeah.
I've got like so many collections where like I've got almost all of the Fruits Basket shoujo manga.
Really?
I'm missing one in the middle. I'm literally missing one, like volume 12. And it's like,
Of course.
Yeah. It's like,
Of course.
and now I'm in the position where I don't buy manga anymore because I don't have the space to display it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that saddens me because I would love to have the space to have it. And I think that it saddens my wife as well.
Yeah.
Because she wants to, the moment that we got married, those things became her things as well. And she wanted them on show as well, apparently. She wants to show that we're not just like a boring family.
Yeah. Just to relate to that a little bit, I got the hardback versions of Full Metal Alchemist, and my wife was like, "Oh, these are really nice. I want to put them on display," sort of thing. And it's kind of like, are you putting this on display to kind of show that you read manga,
Or are you looking to just
or
show that you're not just a regular girl? You're cool.
You're not just one of these girls. You're like,
I'm not one of those girls. I'm a cool wife.
Yeah, I have a reading diversity. Like,
yeah, it's like as you can see, we both participated in decorating this space. As you can see, there's 4 volumes of something that my husband really likes, and I chose out everything else.
Possibly like the most premium looking like manga as well, isn't it? The hardback versions.
Love a hardback version. I kind of wish. Do you remember the black cover editions of Death Note?
Yes, with the silver sort of etching in. Yeah.
So it's like I have like, and it's all black. It's like black page edges as well. So when you look at it, it's like the whole outside of the book is black. I've got 4 volumes of that, and each volume is like 2 or 3 volumes. It's like an omnibus. But I think it would have been so much nicer if it had been a hardback.
Yeah.
Like proper, like embossed.
Yeah.
And stuff.
The one shot's got a real nice cover.
The one shot is I don't think I can say this without having had read and enjoyed the original Death Note and watched it, but I think I actually prefer the story of the one shot.
Really?
Yeah, well, because you've got, I think it's because once you get to the end of Death Note, you're kind of like, this is someone who started off with good intentions, who went down a dark route and kind of went a bit mad with the power that they had in trying to change the world, even though it was initially rooted in a good place. Because, you know, I'm going to get rid of all of the criminals. I'm going to get rid of all the bad people. I'm going to create a utopia and stuff like that. Yeah. Whereas when you get to the one shot, and the one shot is very short, and because if you've read the original or watched the original, you already know the rules of Death Note. Yeah. And I think it's great that they did this one shot where it's like the character is got just a completely different mentality, and they're doing the same thing that Kira was. They're thinking about the world as a whole. They're thinking of like Japan as a whole, but they're not thinking of it like, I'm going to create this utopia where there are no criminals. He's like, I'm going to create this. Like you get to the end and you find out his whole plan overall was, I'm not going to kill a ton of people. I'm basically going to create a utopia where everyone gets what they're worth. Yeah. And stuff. And like you find out like the whole plan was like he was going to erase all of like
debts and
all of the debt in Japan.
Yeah. That was amazing.
And you're like, that is such a twist. But then you obviously find out at the end that there was a new rule added to the Death Note that you can't use the Death Note to like make money or something like
money
that.
Gain, yeah.
To make any gain. So obviously the main character dies at the end, but it's like I felt completely different about him dying because I was like, he deserved to live after all that. Whereas when Kira died, I was like, no, he had to be stopped. Yeah. At the end, he's gone too far. Yeah.
Also, that one shot gave us the president having.
Yeah, it gave us Donald Trump having the Death Note, or no. So he didn't actually have the Death Note.
No,
he was given something, and he basically told the White House press office to say that they've got the Death Note so that it could be used as a deterrent.
Yes, against like other countries.
Yeah, because I think that they allowed him to touch They allowed him to touch a page of a Death Note so he could see Ryuk, and Ryuk was telling all of these different leaders that they now had the actual Death Note. Yeah, and actually, because he made fake Death Notes, didn't he? And he put a page from the Death Note.
I can't remember if I'm right.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember. I'm gonna have to go back and read it now, but I'm pretty sure like they didn't get the actual Death Note, but they at least had like a part of a page, right, and stuff like that, and that was enough for Ryuk to tell them the rules of it. And it was like, if you use it for XYZ thing, you'll die. So no one used it, but everyone thought that the other country had it. That is, I think if you tell anyone that you have it, you'll die.
Got yeah.
It's so good. It was such a good one shot.
It's a great one.
Sometimes one shots are better for me than they are than other titles.
Yeah, I remember reading the Minato one shot. That was more than what I was expecting.
Yeah.
A lot more than what I was expecting.
When you get more than what your expectations are prepared you for, it's such good, so good,
amazing.
So I love it. Love a short series.
Yeah,
but then I'm like left thinking, I really wish I could have gotten more of that.
Talking of getting more, I know we've kind of talked a lot about manga and less about anime, but whilst we're here, the My Hero Academia manga ending, how do you feel about it having a continuation?
I would prefer that it didn't have a continuation.
Yeah.
If they're going to continue anything, at least anime-wise, I would prefer that they double down on Vigilante.
Ooh, yeah.
I would like them to give Vigilante the anime treatment instead of the author focusing on a continuation.
Yeah.
I would like, for having seen what he is capable of, I would like him to go on to give us something completely new now.
Yeah.
Try something like fresh, and this has been an incredible journey.
Yeah.
We've seen so much interesting storytelling, so many interesting uses of power stuff. I'm ready for a different setting now, because I don't think that there's really much more that they can do in this world unless they go backwards and they do something before this final big battle happens.
Ah, okay.
That's my take on it, having read the most recent chapter, and I think that the next chapter is the last chapter.
Yeah.
But where it's at currently, I think that the world has changed. They've already said in that chapter that like the rate of villains has gone down by 90%. It's like it's not like a utopian world where there's no crime anymore.
Yeah.
But the need for superheroes to be fighting supervillains has decreased to such degree. It's like kind of that it's more people using their powers to help better society rather than to protect it.
Yeah.
I don't think there is anywhere more that they should go with that story, because the only thing that they can do is create a threat that just tries to outdo what has just been beaten.
Yeah. Like aliens.
Yeah. Yeah, that the only thing that happens at that point is like they bring in a plot point for the sake of a plot point.
Yeah.
It's like I like that it's never actually properly. I mean, there's been like little bits of information, but it's not, the whole thing of quirks in general never been fully explained.
Yeah.
In stuff. Like, other than like, we know that it's linked to All for One.
Yeah.
And stuff, but it's like, where did that happen?
What was the trigger for it?
What was the trigger for that and stuff properly? And I want more mangaka to be comfortable with ending their series where they're happy with it instead of continuing it because people want more of it.
I see. Yeah. Yeah. I guess over the last couple of days, I've been thinking about Kishimoto ending Naruto Shippuden, and then going on to Samurai 8. It was a bold move. Sadly, Samurai 8 just didn't have the same gravitas that Naruto did. I think I want more. And here's the reason.
Lay it on me.
It's probably a little bit selfish, but I wanted a time skip for the longest time. I wanted a time skip to see them older, being heroes and stuff. And not to say I was denied it or anything. I just feel like it would have been cool to have. And I kind of think it still would be cool to have them older. Maybe a one shot like we've just discussed. A one shot could be cool, but it doesn't have to be like a Boruto Next Generations. I'm not saying like I want to know what Deku's kids are like and stuff. I just kind of wanted him being the number one hero for maybe just more than a moment.
I think that that's the message that they've tried to put across at the end of My Hero Academia, as its ending, is that there isn't any need for a number one hero anymore.
I know. Yeah.
It's like I think that All Might says it himself in one of the later chapters. Is like it's not him or the number one hero being here to shoulder this burden for the whole world. It's like everyone is the next greatest hero. It's sort of that everyone has that capacity to be that for someone else, and that's what they keep talking about. I think that in the most recent chapter, you think that this horrible thing's going to happen because you see this like kid who's got a dangerous quirk who'd been locked up in his like family's basement, and he had gotten away. And towards the end of a chapter, you find like he sees like a family out in public, and he's like, why are they happy? Why can't I be happy? And he looks like he's going to go berserk.
Right.
And then as he's about to go on and unleash his quirk, this like old quirkless lady like takes his hand and stuff like that, and says some kind words to him and says that she'll like, you know, everything's going to be okay.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. And he bursts into tears, and is like that. I think that went on really well to show that like anyone can be anyone else's like number one hero and stuff like that. And in that moment, she was what the hero that child needed.
Yeah.
And stuff.
Yeah, I get the sentiment and stuff. I guess part of me, if excuse the pun, but it kind of feels like the One Piece is the friends we made along the way.
Yeah. I will say, so I think that the desire for like a time skip has become something that has been kind of become an expectation in a lot of stories, because you've got stories like Naruto,
Black Clover.
They did Black Clover. You've got Bleach.
Bleach had one.
At the end of Bleach, you had a chapter which shows this is what they're doing now. Dragon Ball Z. Dragon Ball Z is obviously like kind of aged with us, but we had originally we had GT, which was like set.
Yeah.
After a time skip, it showed what everyone was doing now, and this is the next generation of like Z fighters.
I guess from Dragon Ball to Dragon Ball Z is kind of a time skip.
Full Metal Alchemist, like the final chapter shows after a time skip. It shows what everyone is now doing, and I think that that's become such a trope in this sort of story that people are like, now I want to see, I need to see, what they are doing. Like, did this person get with this person? Did this person go on to achieve their dreams? I need to know.
Yeah.
Like,
I need the gratification.
I need the closure, because like I think that rightly or not so, people expect closure in stories now. They don't want unanswered questions at the end of it.
Yeah.
And I don't know where that expectation started, because I think that in the past you'd read a book and it's like, maybe I'll never know, but maybe this is my headcanon of what happened now. It's like, I think people just don't want to have like, I think because of the internet, maybe people don't want to have all of these hundreds of headcanons out there of what happened, because they want their own headcanon to be the true one, and it's so hard for that to be what you think when you see so many other people's out there.
Yeah.
So you need the author to explicitly tell you this is what it happens.
I guess otherwise it becomes like a recurring question at conventions as well, right? Like, yeah, I'm with you.
It's like think of it like this is a complete genre shift, complete medium shift. Think about the Hannibal series and stuff like that. Hugh Dancy and Mads Mikkelsen are constantly at cons, and they're still entertaining the idea of Hanagram and stuff like that, even though it has never been canon, and it's never been like. I think even the writer has suggested it might maybe if that's what you think it was.
Yeah.
But it's like it's still one of those things where it's so unclear, and it still causes like huge discourse on the internet, I imagine.
Yeah.
Because there'll be some people like, no, they're absolutely just mates. And some people are like, no, they are in love and stuff like that. It's like, and it causes like a lot of discourse online. I think that people want clear answers to prevent that discourse. They need to like have their own, or just even to have their own headcanon validated.
Yeah. And I think there is an element with that with My Hero Academia, considering how many like ships there are and stuff as well. So Yeah, I can see where you're coming from that angle. Um,
I will just. I'm just going to intervene with one final thing on time skips. I'm going to tell you a very unnecessary time skip. Personally, I think was a very unnecessary time skip that we didn't need.
Okay.
Demon Slayer.
When was that?
At the very final chapter.
Right.
The final chapter is set in the modern day. And I think there was no need for it.
I've seen that, yeah.
Absolutely no need for it. It was so, for me personally, it was so off base. I did not need to see what their ancestors are doing in the modern day.
Yeah. Yeah, I even though I haven't read it, I've seen pictures, and yeah, I can see where you're coming from with that one.
Like, great. We're living in a world without demons now. Didn't need a whole chapter about
it. Yeah. Sometimes I think like the tease at the end is kind of what you expect. Like with I'm just thinking back to Attack on Titan, and it ends with the boy finding the tree, and you're kind of like, oh, it could happen again. Not to say, he's going to write another book on it taking place in a more modern time and stuff, but I guess it's more so to drive like history can have a repeat cycle sort of thing.
See, I had no issue with Bleach's time skip at the end. I thought it was a nice ending. I know that a lot of people weren't happy with the canon romances that came of it.
Yeah,
but how cool it would have been is we still got a little bit of that chapter, but instead of like meeting Ichigo and Rukia's kids and like at the very end and that being how it ended, what if we like skipped to a different time and different place and that was like the introduction into Burn the Witch, which is obviously like the author said, it's the same universe and stuff like that. It's like Soul Society, but in a different country and stuff.
Yeah.
Like that would have been cool as hell.
Yeah, definitely, with the dragons and everything else.
Yeah.
Fairy Tail had a pretty cool time skip.
Yeah.
That I didn't see it coming, didn't hate it.
Fairy Tail's got some crazy twists. Absolutely crazy twists. Loved them all. I really enjoyed Fairy Tail when Fairy Tail was still like weekly serialization.
Yeah, had a very good little. Yeah, I like the island one. That was a cool one.
Yeah, like so many good things, and then you got like the separate, like you got there's just so much good stuff. You find out like the reason why Dragon Slayers exists and all that stuff. It's so cool. It's like so good. I really keep meaning to go back and reread it. I don't really like the Fairy Tail anime, so it's the magic. I tell
you what.
Hear me out. In the anime, the magic looks silly
because you're gonna say stupid.
Because they do like you've got like Natsu doing his Dragon Slayer magic, but when he does it, this like very unnecessary magic circle comes up to say, "Oh, this is magic." When you didn't need the magic circle. The magic circles were unnecessary for you to know that it was magic.
I think it might have been the one that started it, because I swear every anime after has had those. Is it glyphs?
Yeah, like these glyphs. They just look so out of place in the Fairy Tail anime.
Yeah,
I know what the Fairy Tail story is about. It's about magic in guilds. Mm-hmm. It's like we didn't need.
Yeah,
like if you're watching it and you're like, that's not magic. I don't know, mate. I don't know.
That reminds me I was thinking. I've seen something this week that used it, and it was Wisteria Wand and Sword, or Sword and Wand.
Oh yeah.
I'm loving, by the way.
Yeah.
Oh my god, it's so gorgeous.
Wait, I think which story is this? Because I think I might watch this already.
It's so people are like calling this the Black Clover / Mashal Harry Potter with no magic, but goes to magic school.
This is a different thing that I was thinking. So,
but it's not. The character's completely different from those. And I think this is why I like it more than those as well. Hot take. But they were fighting like an ice beast, and when it went to shoot its magical ice attack, glyphs came up.
Was it needed though?
No, I didn't think so for a beast.
It's like Like, I'd rather just like go into it like, okay, either this is a natural ability that this creature has, or it's magic. Like
Yeah.
you don't need to do a glyph for me to connect the dots.
Yeah. Yeah.
I didn't realize how mad this made me.
Yeah, it's weird because, like, as you say it, I realize how much I've seen it in things, because it's not only that, it's the Suicide Squad isekai, like they fight, magical beasts. They've got it. Bloody Doctor Strange has got it. Like,
So the thing is, in the MCU Doctor Strange, I don't hate the glyphs because I think that they've actually explained the glyphs into how magic works.
Sure.
At least in that context, for
Yeah.
that sort of sorcery. But I think that like in a lot of other titles where the glyphs are there, it's kind of like they're simply there to show you
it's magic.
that it's magic. There's no explanation. It's like I read a couple of manhwa where glyphs are used for magic, but it explains that like this is how magic is used. Magic is used by using glyphs, and you can change them by doing X, Y, Z thing. And if you can't get the glyphs right, the magic doesn't work and stuff. But it's like when you just like Dragon Slayer magic is literally like it's like a physical enhancement, and it lets you like do a load of cool stuff with your respective element. It doesn't need like a glyph to activate. It's just kind of like a part of yourself.
Yeah, because thinking about it, one of his moves is like something Talon. It's like a fire kick, basically. But yeah, the last thing you want is like a glyph to show up on the heel of his foot to show that it's a fire kick.
Where it makes more sense with like a character like Lucy, who's like a stellar spirit like mage, because I can see she uses these keys. Like she puts the key out. And twist it. I could see a glyph coming up then, because that would make sense, because you're like using a key to activate something. Or unlock something. That makes sense to me.
I'm with you.
Yeah,
I'm with you 100%.
It's like imagine if like when you're I get so heated on this because imagine if you're watching Full Metal Alchemist and every single time Mustang uses
flame
alchemy, it does a
circle
alchemy glyph. It's like, no, he's got the circle on his glove. That's how it works.
Yeah.
Stuff. Edward is able to use alchemy because he creates the symbol. He creates the circle with his hands. That's how that works, and that it's explained into the story.
Yeah, it's hilarious when you think about it as well. You're kind of like, imagine Dragon Ball Z. It would just visually look weird, like to do a Kamehameha, and then a circle comes around, and then it comes out of the circle. Like, I mean, obviously that's not magic, but
but it's like I think that there's better. I think that people say this a lot about like movies and media in general these days. It's like one popular thing will show something as the way it's done, and then everybody expects every single similar thing to follow suit. I think that's why a lot of people who play Dungeons and Dragons didn't like Baldur's Gate 3, because you got it brought an influx of people to try Dungeons and Dragons, but the people who were trying it who had played Baldur's Gate 3 were like, well, that's not how it worked in Baldur's Gate 3. It's like, that's not how this worked. And it's like, that's not how it's meant to work in Dungeons and Dragons. It's like, but now everyone expects anything Dungeons and Dragons like to be like Baldur's Gate 3.
Yeah.
So it's like you always have like a fond comparison. We've done it here on the show, I imagine, where we've like gone, I can see what they were trying to do, but I think the X title did it better.
Yeah.
And that's because we've got that bias there, haven't we?
Yeah. JoJo's.
Yep, JoJo's. Yeah, JoJo's. Honestly, like season. If you're just comparing season one to seasons 2 onwards.
Yeah.
Season 2 onwards is better because they've got stands. There's no stands for that.
This is true. This is it.
And that's why a lot of people don't like season 1, and because there's no stands.
There's no stands.
No stands.
No stands.
No Resengans.
Just
no Chidoris.
Just Dio kicking dogs.
Yeah, cooking dogs.
Kicking dogs. How are we doing for time? Oh, we've been talking for a while. One thing I wanted to tell you actually is anime series I've been watching.
Yes.
Called Why Doesn't Anyone Remember Me in This World?
Okay.
Or No One Remembers Me in This World.
Is it an isekai?
I don't know.
Is it a soft isekai?
I guess. Because the dude ends up in a parallel world where things go wrong.
When no one knows who he is.
No one knows who he is. Joke's on him. There's something really Nomura weird about it.
Okay. I'm I'm listening. You mentioned Nomura Sensei, and I'm here for it.
It's so bizarre. Like, I don't know who the creator is. I don't know who the mangaka is. But watching it, I'm like, there feels like Nomura isms in this. Like, the main character's hairstyle looks like a slightly flatter version of Noctis. There's a magical sword which refers to the wielder as like a bearer and unlocks things. And I'm like,
yeah, this person grew up with Kingdom Hearts
wait
for
a minute,
sure.
yeah. Is this like some sort of weird Kingdom Hearts?
Is
like
this a Keyblade?
Yeah. The prophet who wielded said magical sword originally. Wanna guess their name? Just random.
Is it Zenmus?
You're so close. It was Sid.
That wasn't close at all.
I mean, it's close enough. So it's got loads of weird sort of like, yeah. I feel I'm only 3-4 episodes in, and I'm like, there's some Nomuraisms in here. Not that I hate that. I'm kind of like, I'm digging it because I love
Nomuraisms.
Yeah, because I love Kingdom Hearts. I love World Ends With You. Like, so yeah, but it's odd for it to just randomly show up in an anime series. They were walking through what looks like a modern Shibuya, and then like things go tipsy turvy, and he gets pulled into another world.
Oh no!
Yeah, and I was kind of like, I think I've played this.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure this is the World Ends With You.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure this is World Ends With You. So yeah, I'm really excited for you to check it out.
I think I'm gonna have to now. Like,
even if you just watch the first
you've got
episode.
Nomuraisms. I'm like, give it. Maybe he's writing under a pen name. Maybe.
Can you imagine? Like,
Nomura's doing it. This is why he takes so long to do everything, because he's got his finger in so many different pies.
Yeah.
But like, Nomura Sensei, please come and finish Kingdom Hearts.
Finish Kingdom Hearts.
Kingdom Hearts 4.
Have you seen all those memes about? Because D23 is this weekend, by the way. Lets you know when we're filming this. Have you seen all those memes that we're probably going to get a Kingdom Hearts Fortnite skin?
I haven't seen all the memes. You mentioned it in a group chat earlier on.
Okay.
And there's a part of me that finds it hilarious, and a part of me that fills with such dread, because I feel I don't know. Maybe it's because I don't play Fortnite, but there's a part of me that's like, the moment that something is added to Fortnite, I kind of like instantly feel like myself losing a bit of love for it.
Yeah.
It's like the moment you see like JJK, or you see Dragon Ball Z, you see Goku doing the gritty or something like that, and you're like, oh, is this how far we've fallen as a civilization,
as a society? Yeah.
I don't want to see Sora doing the Running Man. I don't want to see him like using the Kingdom Key to destroy. I don't play Fortnite, so forgive me for sounding out of touch here, for destroying someone's like well-constructed base.
Yeah. It's yeah, I know what you mean. It feels like when your favorite band sells out, like to do like a McDonald's ad or something ridiculous.
Yeah. Or even worse, a credit card advert.
Yeah,
it comes for us all.
Yeah, it happens to all of us. Oh man, not even Missing Link either. Was it Missing Link or Link Missing?
Missing Link, I think it is. But like I was fortunate enough to play the beta.
Whoa.
And I really enjoyed it. I thought it was like very fun.
Yeah.
So, and now that I've been playing, so initially when I started playing it, I was like, how is this? This doesn't feel great on mobile.
Right.
But obviously it was a beta, and now I've been playing Zenless Zero Zone. I'm like, actually, this will probably feel really good
Yeah.
on mobile once it's in its final release, and even better if they give it like a console release as well.
Yeah.
Because I think that's the path forward now. I think that like if you are making a mobile game, especially like a gacha game with like kind of
Mechanics,
MMO mechanics and stuff like that, or like like just a live service mechanics, making it available on console is a great choice especially because these files are getting so big now.
Yeah.
Like I wouldn't play half the games I currently play if they could only play it on mobile.
Yeah.
Because I just wouldn't be. I do not have the memory space.
It's really odd. I'm at a point where I'm kind of like thinking about the backbones and those accessories to play more on my mobile device. I wouldn't have thought about that 4 years ago, but now I'm thinking about it more and more.
Yeah, I am thinking about like things like that, and like even that that screen for the PlayStation 5 that basically works for you to use this as a remote screen for
yes,
it.
Yeah.
Because I use my iPad all the time for it. Like I just use the
remote play.
The remote play app,
Yeah.
and I connect a phone up to my iPad.
Yeah.
And I play mobile games on it like that.
Gosh, I used to do that on the Vita. I remember on the PS4.
I used to love doing it on the Vita.
Yeah. Bring back the Vita, please. Yeah.
I miss the Vita. The Vita was such a miss. It was such a good console. I really wish it picked up a bit more. I think the Nintendo Switch was coming out around that time, though.
Switch was a much more budget-friendly option, wasn't it?
Budget-friendly option, more options, and obviously you don't just get like a handheld. You get like a actual console as well, don't you?
Yeah.
I keep meaning to upgrade to actually get an actual Switch because I've got a Switch Lite.
Oh, okay, yeah.
There are so many games on the Switch that I'd probably be more inclined to play if I could play them on my TV and not on
handheld.
Like playing the Zelda game. Like I played Breath of the Wild, really enjoyed it. It would have been a much better experience on the big screen.
Yeah.
So.
Saying that, I imagine like the cost will come down soon because the 2 is rumored to be around the corner, sort of thing.
Yeah, but it's like then I think for me then it becomes, do I just go out and get a 2?
Yeah.
Because I don't want to be a situation where it's like I buy the last gen and then they start releasing games that are only available
exclusive on 2.
On 2, and it's like, well, I've screwed myself now then because like, I've now got an outdated console that I can't play the games that I want to play on.
I would have thought it'd be backward compatible as well, though. For
yeah,
Switch 1
if it's backwards compatible, like it'll be like any other console on it, and you'd expect so for Nintendo. They usually I think all of their handhelds have been compatible, like backwards compatible to some degree.
To a degree.
Like the DS was compatible with the Nintendo
Advance?
Yeah, the Game Boy Advance.
Yeah.
Stuff. So they always have like backwards compatibility to some degree.
Yeah.
So. Well, this podcast has ended up being a bit of a mixed bag. We've
really
been all over the place today. Been all over the world. Been around the world.
And back again.
And back again. Yeah.
I should probably wrap things up.
Maybe.
Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. If you have enjoyed this, it would do us a solid by hitting a like, share, and subscribe. If you listen to this on your favorite podcast service, give us a star rating. That will help us out in a big, bad way. Susie Day, thank you for joining me in person.
Always a pleasure. Like I said, always helps to entice me out with something delicious.
Maybe I should do it a bit more often.
Just he's gonna take up baking. Clearly, he's gonna take up baking. It's like,
I hope you like banana bread.
Waft it'll be like an old Tom and Jerry cartoon. You're gonna put a pie on my windowsill.
Yeah,
like, just lure me away from my house.
And thank you again for listening, for watching, subscribing, liking, commenting, all that jazz. And we shall see you soon. Peace.